Hey guys, I've been really exhausted. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's been a busy week, and like, it's just been a busy week, and like, I've just been doing a lot, and I've been daily vlogging and daily editing. That's another thing. Like, when you're daily vlogging, you're also daily editing, and for some reason, my videos aren't short. They're not short. The one I posted, today was 38 minutes. It's like in one day. In one day, what are you doing? It was like an hour of like raw footage. I was like, babe, no wonder you're fatigued. When will the videos ever be short? But anyway, none of that's relevant. This is why they're like 40 minutes long, because she loves to ramble. She does. Yeah, it's currently 5 minutes to midnight. So basically the next day, basically day 6. Is it day 6? I posted day 3. I think it's day 6. Yeah, anyway. Is it day 6 today? I'm losing time. The 7th to the 13th. Is tomorrow the last day? Is tomorrow day 7? I think tomorrow's the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, the 13th. Oh my god. Is it day 7? Oh my god. Today is the 13th, Thursday the 13th. Oh my god, is today day 7? Have I been behind? I posted it. The 7th, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, the 13th. Oh my god, guys. Today's the last day. And I'm a failure. Here I am thinking tomorrow. Oh my god, I thought tomorrow was the last day. Oh my god, this is the last video. And I'm just acting bare reckless. I'm acting bare reckless. Like, I don't... Oh my god. How did this get away from me? And tomorrow's gonna be such a fun day. I'm going to the gym again. Obviously it's a week from, yeah, duh, Kimmy. But that's why I was thinking like a week to a week. But tomorrow I'm going to the gym again like I did last week. But then I'm going Jack Whitehall in the evening instead. Because for some reason I put all my socialising on Friday night. I love a socialise on a Friday night as opposed to Saturday. But anyway, today was my aunt's birthday. Yay. I got her some flowers and a card and everything. And then we went out to dinner after work, so I got home really late. It was like this grill place. I want to say Turkish grill place. It was very nice. But I did start a book today at work. And I haven't yet finished The Haunting of Evelyn Jones, and so I guess I failed. I guess I didn't read a book in the dark, and I guess I've just got to be okay with that. I started The Haunting of Evelyn Jones yesterday, which I told you about. I still haven't listened to the last of it. I've only got like half an hour left to listen to it, so I'll listen to it now. And then I've also started another book, which I'll put on the screen now. This is a non-fiction book from like the chief prosecutor in the UK at some point, and he was like liaising with the justice system or whatever, liaising with, I don't know, anyway. And I picked up this book because it was like a true crime book, but it was a true crime book that I usually read, and it's not as gory on the crime, like Lady Killers. It was good and I enjoyed it, but like afterwards I realised that also didn't help to how I've been feeling, like how I'm saying like I'm just tired. And so far I'm enjoying it. It's kind of very interesting because he kind of like glazed over his entire childhood very quickly, and he did point out some like specific things, but I kind of thought like that would be more interesting to me. Like, I would love him to do a memoir about his childhood. That would be really interesting to me, because he's talking about being raised in Birmingham. They're Pakistani, and his dad worked with like, he was part of like the World War II, and then his dad was like his dad was very admirable in a way, and how much he admires his mum as well, and all of the things that they did in Birmingham, because they moved to Birmingham. And he was talking about like being racially abused and being spat on all the time and people harassing him all the time, and like one time where he was beaten up and they were saying the P word and stuff like that, and just like lots of slurs. And that was really impactful. And and then there was other stuff that was happening in his childhood, and I won't spoil it for you. It just kind of feels like a weird thing to say. I'm not going to spoil his life, but like I'll let you read it to discover. And like all of that stuff is really impactful, and you just can't help but think of like the trauma of all of that. And that's part of why I am like a little bit obsessed with like generational trauma, especially of immigrant families. I need some more books on the general trauma, and that I think that is a very important thing, especially for immigrant families. But anyway, so he kind of like glazed over all of that, and then I guess, but this book is about like him in the justice system, so it kind of makes sense. But it's kind of like I wanted that aspect, like when he started talking about that, I wanted to know more about it. And yeah, so he's kind of just like glazed straight onto his life and how he's now in the justice system. In fact, it doesn't even really talk about his journey to the justice system in much depth, which again I think would have been interesting, especially for the time. Also, look at this mug, it says plant lady is the new cat lady. Yeah, so he kind of glazed over, and now he's starting to slow down the pace. Like, it was kind of like everything was on ×2 speed, and now he's slowed down the pace and pressed play to go at a regular speed. Now he's at the justice system part, and right now he's talking about like honour killings and misogyny, especially within his community that he noticed, but like it's worldwide, because it's misogyny, you know what I mean? But yeah, he's talking about honour communities, especially in Asian communities, etc. And that's really interesting. And then he's talking about how influential he was in setting up some of the task forces to beat that in the UK, etc. And then how that was implemented and looked at across the world. And do you know what? It kind of does read a bit like a political memoir, in the fact that like he's just so clearly like saying how good of the things he's done is. And that might sound like really crazy, but like I feel like most of the memoirs I read, that they're very like self-humbling, and obviously we all have our biases. Sorry, I'm about to spill this tea everywhere to clean my glasses. But like, for example, the books that I've recently read is Maybe You Should Talk to Someone, and that is about a therapist and her therapist, and she's very frank, like she's not perfect at all, and she says that, and it just feels more humble in a way. And similarly with What My Bones Know, you know, she has complex PTSD, and she admits to some of the, you know, things that she's done, and I think I'm just more used to that. Whereas in political memoirs, I feel like they're more like, oh yes, and then I did this and I did that and blah 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 blah, and it's not even necessarily in a way that's like, oh, I'm amazing, but it's in a way that sort of glosses over any faults that they have done or any places where they're not 100%, whilst also showcasing all of their triumphs. And that's what it kind of feels like right now so far. It feels like very much a showcase of his triumphs. And then I was a bit concerned, because obviously this is about the justice system, and so, you know, there's a lot of like politics linked to that, etc etc. And at first I got a bit concerned, because I was like, you know, if I just read this as the sole source of this man, I'm gonna come away and I might think, oh yeah, this man's amazing, and then I'm gonna find out some other things that he's said, and then I'm gonna be like, actually maybe he's not so amazing, or I'm gonna look like a fool. I'm gonna be walking around like, oh my god, I read this book from this man, he's so great, and I was gonna be like, really? Because he's a racist. Like, you know what I mean? You never know. So I did have a quick perusal. I was at work, so I couldn't really have a proper perusal, but I did have a quick perusal, and it seems like he's overall okay. I say okay, but like his name has been linked with doing some pretty great stuff, especially for women who, you know, in like domestic violence situations, and as I said, honour killings, etc., and of prostitution, and grooming and pedophilia and stuff like that. He's been really helpful in those sorts of circles, apparently. I think I'm like two and a bit hours in, which again is very good for when I'm in the office, and I only started listening to it in the second half of the day. So it's last night, it's now midnight, so behave for that. It's no longer SUMMERWEEN, but I'm still going to continue this vlog up until I crash out again. So guess what I have to do? Guess what? Because I always have to do it. Clean my room. Typical. And also I am going to listen to the last of The Haunting of Evelyn Jones whilst I do so. Yeah, I finished it and I enjoyed it. So this one was spooky. This one was set on the coast of the United Kingdom, and you know what? It kind of reminded me a bit of Malamander meets Cassidy Blake, because it's like there must be something inherently spooky and ghosty about the coast in the UK. I don't know what it is. I think from my experiences, it is extra dark at the coast. I don't know, and it's just like when it gets to night and it's just like dark, like Black Sea, that might be scary. And it is small towns as well. In the UK, coastal towns are usually quite small, especially when it's off season, which Halloween time is. It's Halloween time, so it's off season, so it's quieter, and so therefore it's got a bit of a deserted feel, because you know it's got all of this infrastructure for the summer tourism. So I guess that's another thing that makes it kind of spooky. But yeah, this is just one that's set there. And overall, I enjoyed it. I would say that the intrigue wasn't very, very high. To be fair, though, like, I didn't really necessarily feel the need to run back and, like, figure out what was going on with the story. I was just like, yeah, I think that was the problem with this one. I think the hook wasn't a hook enough. I liked everything. In fact, I think the first half of it I enjoyed more than the ending, because the first half was more the setup, and I enjoyed the setup of learning the characters. I enjoyed the setup of the town. I enjoyed the setup of all of that. But when it came down to the actual ghosty paranormal parts of it this time, I feel like I wasn't actually that intrigued to get to the bottom or to meet the ghost, you know, properly. So that was probably where it failed, which is kind of a big failure for a ghost book. But you know what, it was adequately creepy. Like, there were times I was like, oh my god, ooh, you know what I mean? It was scary. Like, the descriptions of the scariness was top notch, A1. So I'm a bit conflicted. I'm a bit like, you know, everything was good except for the intrigue. I just didn't feel myself necessarily drawn back to it. So I don't really know how to rate it, but I did enjoy it. I did. Also, The Haunting of Evelyn Jones, there's many prompts that this could have gone for. This one obviously has orange and black on the cover, but also it's set on Halloween, so it's set in the fall, as it were, or autumn in this country. I did read it in the dark, actually. Well, I read it at night, so that counts as in the dark, because it's quite bright in my room. But both times I've listened to this, it's been at night, in the dark. So that's interesting. Does that count? Because it's been at night both times I've read it. I don't think it does. Now, I'm exhausted, absolutely exhausted. And this is meant to be the last day. Hey guys, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I finished The Final Girls by Muriel Grant, and I don't know how to feel. So I'm trying to think of a way to describe it to you without spoiling everything. It's a speculative thriller, so like I don't know, like sci-fi thriller, which I guess is what Muriel Grant does. It's all sci-fi thrills, which is what I enjoyed in Into the Drowning Deep. And I think that she has very good concepts. So in this one, it's like, imagine, I can't remember the name, like imagine like the whole repressed memories and therapy and like what's it called, hypnosis and all of that. And you know, currently there's like this whole big, you know, debate about repressed memories, etc. But imagine that, but with technology. So there's this company, they've developed this sort of technology where they can send you into this coma-like state, and they pump you full of all of these drugs to keep you there and to make you more malleable, etc. And meanwhile, they put on the scenario, and it's like the scenario playing, and you feel as if you're living it and you're living the scenario, but really it's like a dream. And meanwhile, they can watch you in this dream. And the whole point of putting you into this, like, kind of like an like a VR set, but instead it's an immersive experience, like you're in a coma and you believe it's real. Like with the drugs combined with everything, you believe 100% is real. The point of this company is to help you with certain things. So for example, you meet the book with two sisters who hate each other, who've hated each other their entire life, but they've been really trying to mend that relationship just because of life. It would just be better for them if they could mend that relationship. So for example, they will go in order to bond themselves. They'll go into this scenario, and when they come out, they'll come out and they know that it was fake. It still kind of changes their brain chemistry in a way. That was a very long way to explain it, but it's kind of hard with the sci-fi concepts. And so a reporter goes to this company and it's like, I'm here to test you, I'm here to interview you to see if this is legit. And then somehow something goes wrong with their system. I think that's the best way for me to explain it without spoiling it, because it's so short, it's hard. I might have even said too much, to be honest with you, but like, I don't know how else. Yeah. So what did I think about it? Because I've just been telling you, I don't know. It was very hard for me. It was kind of like, this whole thing is like about playing with perception, and I kind of feel like my perception was played with. Like, it was very hard for me to, like, for some reason my concentration levels were so, for the life of me I couldn't concentrate. And like, outside of this video, I've tried listening to this book before multiple times. I've replayed it, that first half an hour, I've replayed it like 3-4 times. I think 4 times, trying to get into it. And this time I just like pushed through, and I was like, well, you know, eventually I'll get a grip. But I didn't. Even till the end, I was struggling to keep the characters apart. For the life of me, I couldn't. There were 2 main characters, and they were saying their names, and I couldn't differentiate their names. It was such a struggle for me. And it wasn't a case of, fine, I can't remember their names, or their names are a bit fluid for me, but each of their characteristics are different. Well, it's like this. I remembered each of their backstories, but their actual, so then whenever they were in the action, I couldn't remember who was who, and I couldn't remember whose name was who either. And so it was only when in the action they would refer to the backstory, they'd be like, right, okay, so you're this one, try to remember. And then next scene, and I can't remember again. And it was so disorientating trying to keep these characters distinct in my brain. Another thing was, as I said, the concentration. So I feel like I listened, but did I even listen? That's how it feels. It's like, did I even listen to this book? Because the concentration levels were just not there. Like, I couldn't narrow in and listen properly. And as I said recently, like, I'm pretty much an exclusive audiobook reader at the moment. And so for an audiobook to like just basically be like water and just like slip and slide all over me, it's very strange. So I don't even know what to say about this book. I won't remember it because it's like, I've just finished it and it feels like a trip. It feels like, did I even read anything? And towards the end, I literally just kind of sat here and did nothing, things that don't require my brain. Still, I feel like I missed so much of this book. I can tell you what happened, and like, I feel like I could tell you what happened, but at the same time, again, I feel like I must have missed so much because I just wasn't fully present. It's a very strange reading experience. I don't know what to say. Maybe reading in the dark isn't great for me either, because like, I don't know, maybe that's part of it, because, but I actually don't think it is, because as I said, I've tried to listen to the first 30 minutes multiple times. Oh my god. So yeah, that was very interesting. I don't know what to say about that. Anyway, I've put something new in my frame. I was creating digital things. I did this actually not now. I did this before, but I thought I'd just show you as a product. I have another green frame and I'm trying to think of something else to put in it. So that's what I was looking at. Now this image, what can I say about this image? I made this, but I had a reference image. So this isn't me creative, give props to the woman who created it. Like, this isn't me. But this is what I mean when I say I can do digital illustration with a reference image. With a reference image, I created that. Without a reference image, there's no way in hell. And I feel like it looks pretty good. Anyway, none of that is relevant. What is relevant is that you see you later. Hey guys, sorry about the light reflecting on my glasses, but hey guys, it's now the end. It's actually a couple of days since the end now. It's Monday. And yeah, it's over. I'm so proud of myself that I actually did this, because I've brought it up many times, but obviously I like dipped for months at a time, and like, you know, it might seem like, oh, that was only 3 months, but even before that, it was like 1 video a month for a while as well. So for me to go from that to daily vlogging and uploading it pretty much all within a week or so, from the first video to the end video, is amazing. Like, it's such an amazing achievement for me. And also I think it was really important for me as well, because I kind of don't really love editing that much, just because my editing was really janky. But I've now got a system. Like, within these 7 days, I've gone at it again with a fresh head, and I've kind of got a new system. It still takes a while, but it's not as painful anymore, and so therefore I'm enjoying it. Like, not enjoying it, but it's not as painful, which means I'm more happy, more ready to edit, which means more videos. So I'm so happy, and I'm so glad that I did this Halloween. Now, part of me throughout these videos was always complaining, because I was like, I'm not doing enough like spooky things, and I felt like it came at the wrong time, which is true in that, like, Should I take off my glasses? Because like this glare is really starting to affect me. Sorry, that was really bothering me, but hopefully the glare isn't as bad. Is the glare as bad still? Anyway, yeah. So overall, I was just saying how important it was for me to be uploading these videos. However, I was complaining that I wasn't spooky enough and I hadn't done enough to like make it more of a Summerween and themed the videos and stuff. But at the same time, like, as I said, halfway through I had to realize that that was not my main priority. My main priority was getting the videos up, and that I managed to do. And even when I was getting discouraged, comparing myself to other people, looking at analytics and views of my baby channel, it's not even that I wanted like the most views, but when a video didn't get as many views as some of the others, that was starting to like, oh my god, like, you know what I mean? But yeah, let's just get into the final wrap up of everything I read. So there were 5 prompts, and hopefully I'll manage to remember them all. The first prompt being read a book set in the fall. For that, I read Pumpkinheads, and I gave that 5 stars. It was just so cute. Like, it was just such the cutest graphic novel I've read in a hot minute. Like, it was just so nice. I'm running out of things to say because obviously this isn't like a full wrap up, but I'm just saying it was 5 stars and it was so cute, and I can see myself rereading it often. Pumpkinheads, I love the sexual representation in it. First of all, like specifically from the female main character, she was bi or pansexual, which I really enjoyed seeing that. But also it was like, this is all coded. There was no terms or labels used in this book, so this is all coded. But in my eyes, she was also coded as like maybe demisexual, and I enjoyed that too. That made me feel seen a bit, and you know, a nice piece of representation. And also I liked the fact that she was like demisexual, but like she wasn't aromantic, like she had been in many previous relationships. Yeah, but like you know, it's just a bit of demi-rep. The next book was Read a Thriller, and for that I read Runtime by Catherine Ryan Howard, and I really enjoyed this. Like, it's not my typical genre, it's not the thing that I would usually run to and read, even though I am really interested in Catherine Ryan Howard's premises. Like, I feel like her descriptions and stuff, they always intrigue me, so that's what drags me in, even though it's not typically my genre. And it's a good thing because I really enjoyed this book. I found it easy to get through, and when I was there I enjoyed it, and I was even thinking about it again today, so about a week after I read it, so that's a good sign. So well done to Catherine Ryan Howard. I'll probably give it around a 4 star maybe. Again, very specific, it's a 3.75. And then we have Orange and Black on the cover, for which I read Crater Lake, which was a middle grade. This was partly because of Chatty's Readathon, which was a middle grade readathon. And so this was a middle grade spooky, and I really enjoyed this. This I would give about a 3.5 stars. I enjoyed it while I was there. It was good. It was okay. It was, I don't know what to say. Like, I enjoyed it, but it's not a new favorite. And it's not a new favorite within this genre, but I did have a good time and I thought it was well done. We have Read in the Dark, which I did manage to do right at the end, and I read Final Girls by Mira Grant, and this was not good. I'm thinking of giving this 1.5 stars. Like, it was that painful to me. It wasn't 1 because I'm not like angry about it, but it wasn't even a 2 to me. Like, it wasn't even a 2. It was painful. And I think it was probably because of the audio narration. I've read another book now. Well, I'm reading another book, and it just made me realize how important the narration is. So I don't even want to blame Mira Grant or the book, but this narration, it just went in. And I think this is a common problem with her audiobooks. I think the narration just weren't there for this one, so unfortunately 1.5 stars. And then lastly we have Read a Graphic Novel, for which I read Something is Killing the Children Volume 4. This I gave, I want to say about a 4 stars maybe. It was a 3 to 4. Let me even say 3.5, I don't know. But it wasn't amazing to me, but it was a backstory. This entire volume was just telling the story of one of the characters that we've met in the first 3, so basically the main character. So it wasn't amazing, but I don't think it's meant to be. It's just meant to give you some more insight, so that when you return to the story in, I'm assuming, volume 5, we have more of an attachment to her, which I'm okay with. I'm acceptable with that. That makes sense to me. And then we also have some bonus reads. So bonus reads I read was Sadie. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. It was really, really good. It was very sad. It was very tragic, but also very poignant, and I think a book that needs to exist. The audio was done amazingly. And yeah, just 5 out of 5 stars for Sadie. I don't know if it's going to be a favourite book of the year, because for me, I don't know if for a book to be a favourite, I have to kind of enjoy it on some level, and I just didn't enjoy reading Sadie. not like, oh my god, I'm hating this, but like it just wasn't enjoyable. Like making me cry doesn't make me love you as a favorite. So yeah. And another bonus was Lady Killers, which was a non-fiction about female killers throughout the ages. And I'd give this a 4 stars. I think it's a book that I'm going to have to reread. I think the information I enjoyed when I listened to, but it's kind of all going to go out of my head. So I'm going to have to reread it again in maybe a couple years' time, or maybe not reread this book again, but read another book on this series in order to like build my knowledge and keep expanding on that knowledge of where it's going to go. But it was very enjoyable. I thought it did a really good job at doing what it laid out. Lady Killers, what was really interesting was I didn't recognize any of the characters that they spoke about, but actually in one of the stories they were interviewed by a female reporter, Nellie Bly, and I read I read a historical book about Nellie Bly and I really enjoyed it. It was really good. It's one of my standouts for the first half of the year. So that was just such a good cameo. I was like, oh my god, Nellie Bly! It was just great. I'm not even gonna lie, seeing that character in there. And yeah, that was just a great moment at Lady Killers. So yeah, that's it for Summerween. I will see you next year. This is one thing that I feel like even it doesn't matter what's gonna happen from now until a year away, I feel like I shall return for Summerween in a year's time. So I shall see you soon. Please like and subscribe. And please comment what your favorite read of Summerween was, because I'm very much getting into my horror slasher thriller vibe right now. Don't know why, don't know when, I don't know how long it's gonna stay. I realize I'm a very like periodical genre person, so comment down below like your favorite like slashers, okay? And I'll see you soon, guys. Bye.